I'm sorry, I had intended to post a number of videos about the teachings of Don Juan, but it is over a year since the last one. For me, the most interesting book was Journey to Ixtlan. I will try to produce a number of videos about the various chapters. Here is Reaffirmations from the world around us. Plants are very peculiar things, he said without looking at me. They are alive and they feel. At the very moment he made the statement, a strong gust of wind shook the chaparral around us. The bushes made a rattling noise. "Do you hear that?" he said, putting his right hand to his ear as if he was aiding his hearing. "The leaves and the wind are agreeing with me." I laughed. The friend who had put us in contact had already told me to watch out because the old man was very eccentric. I thought agreement with the leaves was one of his eccentricities. We walked for a while, but he did not show me any plants, nor did he pick any of them. He simply breezed through the bushes, touching them gently. Then he came to a halt, sat down on a rock, and told me to rest and look around. Chatting later, he said that perhaps there's nothing to learn about plants, because there is nothing to say about them. I did not understand what he had said or what he meant. "What did you say?" I asked. He repeated the statement 3 times, and then the whole area was shaken by the roar of an Air Force jet flying low. "There, the whole world has agreed with me," he said, putting his hand to his ear. They walked back to the car and drove into town to eat. I wanted to buy some beer in a restaurant, but he said that he never drank, not even beer. I must have had a look of doubt in my face, for he went on to explain that he used to drink in his youth, but that one day he simply dropped it. People hardly ever realize that we can cut anything from our lives, any time, just as we like. He snapped his fingers. "Do you think one can stop smoking or drinking that easily?" I asked. "Sure," he said with great conviction. "Smoking and drinking are nothing. Nothing at all if we want to drop them." At that moment, the water that was boiling in the coffee percolator made a loud perking sound. "Hear that?" Don Juan exclaimed with a shine in his eyes. "The boiling water agrees with me." Then he added after a pause, "A man can get agreements from everything around him." At that crucial instant, the coffee percolator made a truly obscene gurgling sound. He looked at the percolator and said softly, "Thank you," nodded his head, and then broke into roaring laughter. Carlos asked Don Juan if he could bring his notebook and tape recorder next time, but Don Juan refused. Carlos said they were indispensable for his work. Don Juan said there was only one thing that was indispensable for anything we did. He called it the spirit. "One can't do without the spirit," he said, "and you don't have it. Worry about that and not about pictures." I think that what Don Juan was saying was that it was important to relate one's life to the world around us. When under the influence of drugs, trains of thought should include the world around us rather than simply lolling about in one's imagination feeling good.